Hello everyone. Let us begin with our new semester subject, and the new semester subject is Operating System 2. Subject code is 504. We will begin with the first unit, Process Management. What we are going to study in this unit, let us go through that. Okay, the things which we are going through will be process concepts, process scheduling, operations on processes, cooperating processes, inter-process communication. Now, before that, can anyone guess what is the difference between program and process? Every time we use process, program, one and the same thing, multitasking, multiprocessing. But what is the difference between process and program? Can anyone guess? You have to use your brains because you have lots of time staying at home. Don't waste your time. Instead, utilize the time. So every now and then what we use, what I say, write a program, and the program executes and you get the result. Then what is a program and what is a process? Okay, let me define and state the difference between the two. When we write a program code and we save it in the hard disk, then it is just a piece of code and it is a program. But when this program goes to the processor for the execution, and after execution, the processor gives you the output, then that thing, the processing program, is nothing but it is a process. So we can say a program in execution is a process. You can also say that program is a passive entity, a thing which is doing nothing, but a process is an active entity. A process includes program counter, stack, data section. All these things are included in your process. Fine. In the textbook, the term job and process are used interchangeably. Fine. So, when we are talking about the process, we have to learn about the process. Whenever you are writing a program and that program is given to the processor, there is a life cycle of the program. And within that life cycle, the program or the process goes through following states. The first state is called new state. That means what? A process is being created. When the instructions in the program are executed with the processor, then it is in the running state. If the program waits for some input and user gives the input and then afterward the process continues its execution, then waiting time is called waiting state. Fine. If a process is waiting, if a process is waiting, it is doing no execution, it is not with the processor. So once its wait is over, it will enter a ready state, and ready state, then afterwards, then it will enter the running state, and finally when its task is over, then it will enter its terminated state. So this diagram of the process state is when a new process is created, it is admitted in the ready queue. It is not that whenever a program you are writing, it will directly be submitted to the processor. There might be n number of processes in the memory, and the process will be executed by the processor as and when its turn comes. Fine. So whenever a process is entered in the memory, it will first be submitted to what? Ready queue. And if its turn comes, then it will be sent to the processor. So it will be in the running state, ready state, running state. Fine. Then if it is running and if it needs some input, then it after input, getting the input, it will once again go to what? Which state? Once again it will be going to your ready state. But if it is in ready state and if it enters the running state and if it needs some input, then it will be waiting for the input, then once again it will go to the ready state. Once again, after its ready state is over, it will go to running state, and after completing its task, it will go to the terminated state. Fine. Now, whenever we are talking about process in a system, nowadays we are having multi-programming systems. Means what? At a time, there are n number of processes which are to be executed by the processor. Fine. So, n number of processes, and each process is different from one another. So, how this process is different from one another? Each process will be having a information associated with it. That information is called process control block, that is PCB. PCB is associated with each and every process. Fine. So information related to each process will be stored in what? PCB. Fine. First information is process state. Process state means what? Currently the process is in which state? Is stored in which column of information? Process state. Fine. Then afterwards it is program counter. Currently which instruction of the program is being executed by the processor is maintained by your program counter. Which are the registers which are used by the process is also kept in CPU register. CPU scheduling information. That means what is the process number it is executing in, or when will its turn come. Everything is kept in which information? CPU scheduling information. Memory management information means what? How much memory it has utilized during the execution. Accounting information is how much time it is spending on the processor is kept with accounting information. Input output status means what? How much or from where it is going to take the input and from where it is going to keep the output is specified in input output status information. Fine. So this is the diagram which is associated with PCB. Now, as I told you that a system has n number of processes. Fine. So here P0 and P1 are two processes. Okay. P0 is executing. So it is executing means what? It is with whom? It is with the processor. Fine. Then some interrupt is there. Interrupt means what? It needs some input from the user. So it will be waiting. And once it is waiting means what? The processor is idle. So now it is the turn of process 1. While process P0 was executing, P1 was idle. Fine. So now P0 is in a multi-programming environment. There are n number of processes to be executed by the processor. Now at a given time, say T0, there is a process P0 which is executing with the processor. But P0 needs some input from the user. So there is an interrupt from the operating system. So P0 will stop the execution. And now meanwhile the CPU is idle or the processor is idle, it needs to take another process. So what CPU will do? It will save the state, current state, whatever information it is having about the current state about the process P0, it will be saved into PCB of 0 process. Then it will start executing P1 by loading the information of P1 from PCB of P1. Fine. Now there is process P1 which is executing. Okay. And meanwhile P0 has finished its interrupt, that is it is finished taking the input from the user, but with the processor the process P1 is executing. So P0 is idle. After P1 has completed the execution, what will happen? Or P1 has been interrupted by the operating system, then once again the state of P0 will be taken or loaded, and the state of the P1 will be loaded into PCB. Fine. This is how the CPU works. That means what, it is switching from one process to another. And this switching from one process to another is called context switch. Remember what is called context switch? It is the switch from one process to another process. So from this diagram, what you can say, saving the state of one process into PCB of that process and loading the state of some other process for the execution, then such a switch is called context switch. Fine. Now, talking about process scheduling. As I told you, there are n number of processes which are to be executed by the processor. So where these processes reside? So these processes are distributed among these queues: job queue, ready queue, device queue. Fine. Job queue is what? Set of all the processes in the system. Job queue means what? It is the set of all the processes in the system. Ready queue means what? Set of all the processes residing in main memory, ready and waiting to execute, are called ready queue processes. Device queue means what? Set of processes waiting for some input output device. And during the life cycle of the process may migrate between these queues. So when you have written a program, that program resides where? It resides on your hard disk, and that program must be brought into the main memory for the execution. But it is brought in the main memory, it has not been assigned to the CPU or the processor, so it has to wait. So when the process is in the main memory, then it is in the ready queue. Fine. And if it needs from input from the user, or if it needs from input from the file or any other device, then it is put in which queue? Device queue. Fine. And remember that job queue means what? The processes or the programs which are on the hard disk or in the main memory or in the device queue. All these things is called job queue.